There is no doubt in my mind that if you ask a bunch of Instacart shoppers if they make decent money, they will tell you they make decent income. The problem with being an Instacart shopper is there's so many things I wish I knew at the start of being an Instacart shopper, especially being new to Instacart. This way I could have figured out some things to make my life easier. But I'll share those tips in this video. Additionally, check out the comments below because I'm sure there's going to be some amazing replies inside the comment box from people that have way more experience, even more than I do, to share with you some more tips along the way. Now, there is no set order amongst these tips. I'm kind of going to go miscellaneous on this, but the first one I have to share because it's the biggest pain in the ass when it comes to being an Instacart shopper, and some people don't even share it with you, is those Costco orders. Just make sure when you get to the cashier, you get to the checkout, that you are asking them for the boxes that they offer there at the Costco. It's in front of the cashier. This way your life is so much easier. Those Costco orders can be super heavy, and you don't need to be putting that in bags. Put them inside the Costco boxes so that it's easier for you to carry to the client's house, and this way you're not putting as much strain as on your back, and the customer is not paying for any boxes to be dropped off at the house. The next thing is when you are accepting an Instacart order, don't be afraid to browse. You are not wanting to accept every order you see. If you do that, you're gonna get orders with have a 0 tip in the mix, long distance in kilometers. So I can't really say take your time because there's going to be a lot of good batches that get taken up quickly, but take that 30 seconds to check each one of the batches before you select the batch that you want. Otherwise, you might get a little bit ripped off from Instacart. Now, when it comes to getting ripped off by Instacart, sometimes they don't add heavy pay. Orders that are 50 pounds or more are entitled to a heavy pay top-up. Now, these top-ups go in $5 increments, but Instacart has a tendency of not adding that to your batch. Now, I know that there's a lot of people that say when you add heavy pay, you could be penalized. I have yet to be penalized, but you're entitled to that money. So go ahead and pop onto the chat, and if you need to know how to add heavy pay to your order, I have the link for that video right here. This way it can be added to your order, because I can tell you more times than less I've had to get it added afterwards because they don't add it in advance. This one is critical for new Instacart shoppers to know about. It's called the Instacart Forgiveness. I don't even think that that's the title of it, but that's what I'm calling it. For your first 30 batches, regardless, if you have a batch and you cancel it, your cancellation rate will still stay at 0%. If you're late to do a drop-off, don't worry about it. You're not going to get penalized. My favorite part about Instacart is they treat the new shoppers pretty well, and they do not penalize you. So you're not going to have to worry about the stress and the hassle, because they know shopping can be difficult. You don't know your ways around the store. You don't know the applications. So because of that, it does take some time to get used to. But with this Instacart Forgiveness, you get nothing to worry about. So this feature helps with Instacart, but it's also a pain in the ass to deal with. It's the texting feature. You're totally going to need this in order to be able to text your customer for a refund or exchanges. What's my tip in this mix? Keep in mind, when it comes to text messaging, a lot of our customers are not near their phone. So many times you're going to send them a message and they're not going to reply, especially if you need to exchange something. What if they want Pepsi versus Coke? If they have Coke and there's no Pepsi in the mix, I'm going to recommend you do not exchange. There are some people that have a heavy heart to their something as simple as their soft drink, that if you exchange it and you piss them off the wrong way, it's going to affect your tip and your rating. If you cannot find something as simply as a beverage, go ahead and refund it. I know if you get a percentage-based tip, it will hit your tip more, but I much rather that my tip gets docked a couple of cents versus my customer satisfaction rating taking the hit. Because with Instacart, if your ratings take too much of a hit, you won't be entitled to those good batch payouts, and because of that, you're not going to be making as much money with Instacart. I mentioned about text messaging for refund and exchanges, but there's also one recommendation. This is, I don't know if I call it something that I wish I knew at the beginning, but it's something I've caught on to in the mix. As soon as I enter the store, I do send my customer a greeting message. The reason why is I find many customers, when I'm near checkout, they turn around and they say, oh, I've added this to the batch, but I didn't know that you already started. Why? Because they're not near their phone. So when we text them, even though Instacart will notify them with a message that we have started shopping, it's not the same format as a text message coming in on their phone. So because of that, I always send the custom greeting message. This way, when I'm out and about doing my deliveries, I can go ahead and find the additional item for the customer. It can also increase that percentage tip or even the base cost that you're going to be having with Instacart because of the fact that it ups the cost of that batch. If we're not allowing them the option in advance to tell us that they've added more to the batch and then we're at the cash out and we're already done, then we can potentially lose out on money. So I know it's a little bit of a hassle to go around shopping for more items when you've already accepted it, but if you want more money, you want to increase your pay, it is a super easy way to do so. This last one comes standard, I think, with food delivery. I would say it's not exactly mandatory with Instacart, and it's not even mandatory in my books, but I kind of wish I knew in advance that these things could be a thing in lingo, otherwise customers can deduct tip. Just make sure when you're doing an Instacart order, it's a lot like food delivery. If you can have a thermal bag, you're gonna make your life easier. Why? There's a lot of like ice cream orders from Costco or Walmart, and with those in the mix, if you're not putting them in a thermal bag and the customer just sees you delivering them, let's say out of a plastic bag, they could take a hit amongst your actual survey and your tip. It just makes life a lot more easier if you already have the bags in the car because you're doing things like Uber Eats, DoorDash, Instacart, or Skip the Dishes, but I wouldn't let that be a deciding factor. It's just a simple recommendation that does it help if you have a thermal bag? Yes, but in the end, it's completely your decision. But I hope these tips and tricks help you as a new Instacart driver or an Instacart shopper. And don't forget, take a look into the comment section. I'm sure there's going to be way more recommendations that even I have not even thought of when it comes to being an Instacart shopper with some new tips and tricks. And I will catch you lovelies in the next video.